All right. Uh, let's see. Okay. We have not done this in quite a while, so all of the adjustments to remember how to do these things. Anyway, hello, I'm Michelle. I am sitting here by myself, so as usual. So, so I'm going to give it a few minutes and run over here to Facebook and see if I have any messages and see whether or not we're going to do this thing tonight. I know I've had trouble getting connected. My computer's been bugging out. I haven't really done a Zoom meeting in quite a while. And so I'm thinking others may be having issues getting connected. So we'll give it a few minutes. Uh-oh, an error occurred. What is that? Okay, so I don't really know what is going on here. My Zoom is being very funky. This is the third or fourth time I have launched it. And I really have not used it in a while, so I don't know, but my computer, which has been perfectly fine for weeks now, is acting very strange tonight. So I'm thinking it's got something to do with Zoom. So I don't know if I'm still streaming. Okay, it looks like maybe I am. Something strange is going on. So I was saying a couple of minutes ago that, we haven't done this in a while. And so I was going to look at Facebook to see if there were any messages. And just as I was trying to do that, I guess I should check my phone. Just as I was trying to do that, Zoom conked out on me. Just stopped responding for the third or fourth time. So I don't know if this is going to work tonight from a technical standpoint. And I also don't know if we're going to have any book group members. I hope so. We have a big old book to read. Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois by Fanonne Jeffers. And so it's a real, it's a big one. It's a big one. So presuming that others are going to join me on this journey, we'll be at it for quite a while. So anyway, I guess I'll give it a few minutes and see if anyone shows up. If not, we'll try again next week. So, here comes somebody. Karen Johnson. Karen.
Hi.
Hey there.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay. Yeah.
I'm so glad to see you for a couple of reasons. You see, you're the only one here. I've been fighting technical problems the last few minutes, and so I wasn't sure if people were having trouble getting in or just late getting here. So.
All right.
Yeah. So you're gonna do this book with us?
So Tuesdays are hard. Like I know next Tuesday, I teach my class in the morning, and that's 90 minutes. And when that's over, I have a 90-minute meeting. And then this, because I'm on the West Coast, then I think I'll probably have 30 minutes before this session starts. From my meeting to if I do the book club. And then after that, I have another meeting, the Renoco's. I'm part of the legacy committee, but I have back to back. So I'm not sure if I'll be able, if I do, I don't think I'll be able to do next Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Is there a better day in the week for you? Because maybe,
So my Wednesday, I was supposed to teach on Wednesdays, but that class, it got canceled. So that's that. I have Wednesdays free in terms of like teaching and
okay.
more flexibility.
Okay. Well, let's talk to Gio and BJ
Mm-hmm.
and see if that works for them,
Right.
because it might. BJ and I are doing another program on Thursdays.
Okay.
Um,
A reading group.
yeah, well, it's called If America Fails, The
Oh,
Coming Tyranny.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. So we're kind of looking at um, the TV show. It's also a book,
Oh, it was a TV
but
show?
The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, The Handmaid's Tale. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and kind of using the themes from The Handmaid's Tale as a way to have a conversation about
Good idea.
the dystopia playing out before our eyes in the United States.
Oh, that's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
You all
Yeah.
already watched the TV show or ahead of time?
Not necessarily, not necessarily. In fact, if you'd like to be a guest, so the way we're doing it is having 2 or 3 people serve as panelists that have some particular expertise in the various themes. So I've had a couple of people that didn't know the show that said they would read the book or watch the show, and I said, you don't have to. It's not a prerequisite. It helps obviously, but it's more important. So, for example, James McIntosh, Dr. McIntosh, is on the panel talking about mental health. So he's one that doesn't know the show.
Okay.
And offered to read the book, and I told him, no, what is what trauma looks like.
Okay.
What is human history.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about that book is that Margaret Atwood decided when she wrote the book that she wasn't going to put anything in there that hadn't happened somewhere in human history.
Okay.
So there's slavery.
Right.
There's torture. There's oppression of women.
Right.
There's rape.
Right. Right.
Things that unfortunately we're all familiar with.
Right. Right. Yeah, so I watched the show. I watched all the seasons. I'm not gonna watch this last season because I was disappointed how last season ended. So I'm not gonna watch this upcoming season.
Okay.
Because I had some issues with the last season, but I thought it was very profound. At least the first 2 seasons. The third one was okay. I think it's been 3 seasons, I think.
Yeah, 4 seasons. The first
4? Okay.
Yeah. The first season follows the book pretty closely. And then after that, they kind of go off, in their own direction. But what was it about the ending of season 4 that you had an issue with?
Right. So I'm tired of the character June being this kind of. I like ideas of reforms. I like ideas of resistance, but I hate how I've gotten to the point where I don't like how the story is centers around June and her decision making. And I thought it was. And so I found that problematic. And I know in this upcoming season that she's going to be back in Gilead. And I think I wanted to move towards either stick with the book or move towards some level of how do they engage in forms of resistance to overthrow that system.
Right.
And I'm not saying that they're not going to do it, but the last season was kind of disappointing.
Yeah. Gio, are you there?
Hey, ladies.
There you go. Hey.
I'm okay. I'm recuperating from the holidays. Mine were extra long.
Still?
Yeah. Well, I had some house guests and it was exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
And
well, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you. How was your introduction to 2022?
Oh, you know me. I do it quiet. I do it quiet. So I just did it quiet. It was fine.
Okay. And Karen, you've been globetrotting, so.
Right. It was it was quiet. I was in Atlanta with my brother and his family, and he had a few people over from his church, and they're part of he has a Saturday Bible study group. So that was nice. We had a nice little, New Year's Day. And then it's been really good spending time with my brother and his family. So
good.
Nice.
All right. Looks like we're missing DJ and a couple other ladies.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me call BJ and see what she's up to. Because I did think she was coming tonight.
Oh.
But I didn't talk to her.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Now, Karen, I'm saying this in the most loving way. I am so jealous. Girl, you at the pyramids. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. So I have a question to ask you. While you were near the pyramids of Giza, did you feel, because people have said this, in interviews, that they felt like time slowed down because they were close, because it's so massive? Did you notice anything energetically about it?
No, not really.
It was just hot.
It was horrifically hot. It was triple digits.
Oh,
it's just really horrible. And the other thing is that was I find annoying whenever I travel anyway, is where you have the locals who are always, trying to sell their wares, or even if they're not selling stuff. Like I wanted to take a picture of the Sphinx, and having locals come up to you and say, I'll take a picture. And then when you let them take a picture, it's like, give me money. That happened all the time. And then that just took away from the experience. That's really, I don't like stuff like that. It's not just Egypt, but different places that I traveled in the Caribbean, for example, in tourist area, or West Africa. So that really it's annoying to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. Definitely.
Right.
What do you do? But so you said you were by the Sphinx.
Right.
And
yeah.
So it's got so I've seen videos and watched some documentaries about the weathering on the side of the Sphinx. And particular researchers say it looks more like water than the wind that the Egyptologists claim that was supposed to have caused all of that.
Oh, I'll have to do further research. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but we didn't get that close to it. in terms of taking a picture. Only thing that I got close to were the pyramids, and I went inside the Great Pyramids.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
You have to be in good physical condition to actually go inside that, in terms of your physical mobility, to literally, because it's very, very narrow when you climb in inside.
Wow.
So you have to be in good physical condition, and also not, have fear or phobia of small spaces.
Okay. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
I haven't really looked at my photos. I need to sit down and start looking at them again. Yeah, I have not looked at them. Thank you for asking.
I understand. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad you made it back safe.
Oh, thank you. That was a long journey. That was 10 hours on Egypt Air from New York City. Direct flight.
Well, I'm glad it was that
Long time.
It is a long time.
Yes.
I think I slept most of it.
That's the best way to go.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So BJ completely forgot about us.
Okay.
So she is in the middle of something, but she said she would try to get here. But I don't really know how long we need to be here, because tonight was just a reconnect, since it's been a while since we've done this. And so, Gio, you were saying, we're missing a couple of others. So I don't know. I haven't heard much. I'm thinking about Kim and oh my God.
Juanita.
Yeah. Oh my God, in Houston.
Nicole, right?
Nicole.
Nicole.
You forgot everybody's name.
I forgot everybody's name, But yeah, I don't think Vanita's going to do it. But I'm not sure about Kim or Nicole. Karen was saying earlier, Gio, that Tuesdays are hard for her, but that Wednesday is a better day. I told her we could talk about that. Is it okay with you?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday works for you? Yeah, I could do Wednesday. Now, I do think that BJ plans to be involved. She just completely forgot about us tonight.
Can she do Wednesdays?
That's what I have to find out.
Not, you could keep Tuesday. I wouldn't want to, impose like that in terms of.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you said definitely next week you can't do.
Right. It's because if I can, I'll probably be late because I teach my class and right at that I have a meeting and then I'll have a short window of time.
Yeah, I don't like all that.
6:30 on the East Coast.
Yeah, I don't know.
If I be able to do it, I won't be able to stay on the whole time.
Oh, here's Kim. Good. Yeah, but I don't like unnecessary stress. Most of us are retired and, can be flexible with our schedules. Mm-hmm. So, it makes more sense for you to impose on us than us to impose on you.
Right. Right.
Kim.
Hey,
Hi. I'm sorry I have a conflict on Tuesdays, but I wanted to see y'all.
Oh, we wanted to see you.
you look good.
Actually, we were just talking about that Tuesdays are hard for Karen, but Wednesdays would be better. How are your Wednesdays, Kim?
Wednesdays are not that great either for me, but don't worry about it. I'll pop in when I can.
Yeah, okay.
We miss
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Hi, Karen.
Hi,
Karen.
good seeing you. Yeah.
Wow.
What time on Wednesday?
That's open. Is there a good time for you?
It would probably be 7, and I know that's late. So
well, not late.
No. Huh?
I said not late for Karen, but hey,
Not late for Karen and not late for BJ. BJ's got me doing this program on Thursdays at 8. And she really wishes it was 10. So I don't know. 7 would be okay with me, Kim.
yeah.
You know, this is a big book, and we're going to be at it for a while. So we might as well try to find, the time that works best for most of us. Yeah. So yeah, because what are you, 3 hours, Karen? 2 hours?
Mountain time.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
2 hours behind.
yeah. And Gio, you would be okay with Wednesdays at 7?
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So yeah, why don't we just, I hope this is BJ. Good. I was just gonna say, why don't we just say Wednesdays at 7 and I'll check with BJ. Here she is.
Happy New Year.
We're all here. So now it's just a question of Nicole.
Hi, everybody. I thought we were in discussion. That's why this name
Hey, PJ.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
Oh, I wish every one of you enough.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is just our touch base tonight anyway. And so what we were
Okay,
just
I apologize for being late. I have no supervision. I have no parent, nobody to move me forward.
Yes. So, and I should have called you.
No, I was
know.
avoiding you today because you had me working like a monkey.
I got myself working like a monkey. I'll be so glad. This other program we're going to do on Thursdays is for 11 weeks. I'll be so glad when it's done.
But at 2:00, I was going to call you and say, I've lost my interest. Can we not do this?
Right. But when you came in, we were just talking about changing the day and time of this group to make it more comfortable for Karen and Kim. And so
I'll go for that.
We're looking at Wednesdays at 7. Does that work for you, BJ?
Anything works for me. I have no supervision.
Okay. All
love
right.
that.
Then
I love that.
Start using that.
Then let's call it a date, Wednesdays at 7. And a few minutes ago, I was busy seducing Karen into being a panelist on If America Fails. she has watched.
Pitch?
Yeah, do the pitch.
Okay. Listen, y'all better be real scared. I'm 72 years old, and I don't think I've been this close to fear about being Black in America, except for maybe 3 times. And this is not just a personal, a personal threat. This is really about the threat of us, a kind of cultural genocide. And I think that we have to take every opportunity to help people understand what is happening here. Because I do think that this story helps people to kind of regulate their minds. And the TV series, Karen, is so important because it gives you the visual. It gives
she knows the show.
Okay. It gives you the visual of what can happen. And the opportunity to really assess and come to the reality that there's no going back. I mean, in the last season, while everybody was saying, oh, June's crazy, she's lost her mind, now she's a psychopath, I was saying that is the kind of injury that you can't come back from. And when we think about it, you know, it's real easy for Black people to say, oh, they're gonna do what they want, they're gonna do. But they haven't done what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of labor and capitalism in the Reconstruction served as some kind of barrier against a genocide after slavery, because Black people were needed to do the work. Slave or no slave or whatever, indentured, whatever it was, to keep the economy and the rich folks progressing forward. They could not commit genocide. They could not commit to the idea of eradicating human beings, eradicating them culturally, eradicating their voice, eradicating them as humans. Well, they did kind of eradicate them as humans, but you know what I mean, that the question of their humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And I see these people in these states where the right-wing evangelical religious zealots have combined with greedy financial and political control freaks. And I think to myself, not a wonderful world. And they have been given permission by the numbers. And it really, I don't want to say it doesn't have anything to do with Donald Trump. He unleashed this. He gave permission. And now we are all under threat. And that includes not only people because they're Black or people because they're Democrats, but it includes white people who don't fit in. White people, I think white scholars should be fearful at this point for their personal safety if they get control of this Congress. I know what can happen from government, and government can change everything. The influence is unbelievable, which is why I'm always crying about the leftovers, the people from previous administrations who were appointees. And I was one of those people who got embedded into the civil service. I mean, when my appointment was over, I was asked to stay. But a lot of people whose appointment was over in the Bush administration and the Reagan administration and the Trump administration, they also were asked to stay, and they made them civil servants, but they made them civil servants in senior management positions. And government employees do whatever it is to keep their jobs. I don't care what anybody says. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. So whatever government becomes, if these people take over, that is what is going to, the crushing weight is going to come down on poor people, Black people, brown people, gay people.
Well, people, really, I was listening to Tom Hartman's show today, and, you know, he lost his brother a few days ago. His brother, I think, died of lung cancer. Mm-hmm. And so he's pissed off about that. And he's pissed off that years ago, his father died as a result of his asbestos. Mm-hmm. And so his rant today was about, you know, how is it that psychos in suits, if a man kills his wife, and he gave several examples of where this has actually happened. If a man kills his wife for the insurance money and gets caught, he gets arrested and goes to jail. But if you kill millions of people via asbestos or tobacco or whatever, you make lots of money, and, you know, you're celebrated as the gods of society. And so he talked about how, you know, years ago, there were major class action lawsuits against companies that were found out to be doing these kinds of things. But he was just raising the question, who are we today? You know, who are we today? Because these companies seem to be able to do whatever it is they want to do without regulation, without accountability, without consequence. Mm-hmm. You know, we just all seem to have become very expendable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good word for it, that we need to understand that we have become expendable. But then, you know, on Sunday, I was thinking, sometimes I think on Sundays, and I was thinking, we're expendable until they're trying to sell us something.
Right.
If you look at the ads with all these Black people in it,
right.
You know, when they want to sell us something, Black people are important. Mm-hmm. So it is our dollar that is important, but you can't get people to recognize that they are funding their own. I had an argument with someone yesterday, one of my neighbors, because I was suggesting to her she should boycott Publix, because the heiress of Publix donated over $300,000 to the insurrection. And she said, yeah, I'd like to do that, but what about all the people that work there? And I thought about that, and I said, well, Walmart will, the people that I'm concerned about, Walmart will hire them. Mm-hmm. But we want to somehow support, if we continue to support companies like Red Lobster and all the others that I'm boycotting. I was right in my kitchen when Michelle called, trying to imitate the Chipotle salad bowl thing, because I refuse. So I think that it's so important to raise our voices. I know that I'm always responsive when someone can point and say, see. And I think this series is pointing and saying, see. In addition to educating people who have not paid attention to why we had the red thing, the Red War, the Cold War, the Red War, are the why we were in Afghanistan, and they haven't paid attention to who Hitler was and what Hitler did, and Mussolini, and how that relates to Lenin, and how that relates to democratic socialists in America. They haven't paid attention to it. I'm surprised I'm not surprised. Oh Lord, did I say that? I want to be surprised at the ignorance of people who don't understand governments and regimes and all the wonderful words that are available, the language of oppression, and understanding that slavery is only one form of oppression. It is a labor form. But autocracy and theocracy and authoritarianism and theocracy. What's that other word I messed up the other night? I messed up some words.
Fascism.
Jill, you missed it.
But
I was having a hormone.
This would not be a weekly thing for you. In fact, I'll send you an invitation. It'll be for a specific date, and it'll give you, all the details on what we're doing. But yeah, we'd love to have you as a panelist.
Because people are saying to me, one of the reasons that I was so bomb-headed on Saturday is I had a 2.5-hour conversation, argument, blah, 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 with Ruby Sales.
Oh, you did? You didn't tell me about that.
And for almost 45 minutes, I just let her talk.
Yeah.
So I don't have lung cancer. I don't have a pulmonary disease. I have acid reflux. That's why I'm coughing so much. But anyway, one of the criticisms is that the book and the Hulu, I'm still pitching you, Karen, the Hulu, TV production is that there are not enough characters, Black characters. So it doesn't relate to Black people. Well, that is as far from the truth as we can get. Because even this group, and since we last met, I did read while I was on vacation. I was on vacation for a month and a half. I read the story of Night Women.
Marlon James.
So now you know when you hear us say we like the night women up in here. You know what we're talking about.
Yes.
Marlon James.
Yes. And my daughter is now stalking me because she's reading it, and the way she reads a book is she reads like 4 pages and then she calls you and says, Mom, rah, rah, rah. But it is as close to anything that I have read that is as close to The Handmaid's Tale.
Mhm.
And when you begin to start reading, looking at issues of sexual and sex suppression, in The Handmaid's Tale, there's a Black pediatrician who has been put into service by the regime.
Mhm.
There is female mutilation
Mhm.
put in place as a punishment by the regime. There is a Black child who has been taken by a couple who are lunatics.
Mhm.
So you've got all of that going on, and the only Black male faces that you see are those who have gone into service with the army, the Republic of Gilead Army, which speaks to me about Black male machoism and how much of what we see is being sold and taken on by Black men as a safety valve, as a protection.
Mhm.
And I've not heard anyone talk about that
Mhm.
Black men act like, just lunatics sometimes in regard to their sexuality because it is a protection for them. And I may be way off, but I think there's a glimmer in there somewhere. But anyway,
You have June's Black husband. Who's,
yeah, we forgot about Barack Obama. Barack Obama, dorm mate at Columbia.
Yeah.
And then we have the Black handmaid, who was so happy not to be on the wall that she would sabotage the handmaids who were resistors. But she got hers because they literally put a skewer through her brain. So there's lots to talk about. All the Black people when we see the Chicago scenes in the Civil War, it was mostly Black people resisting. And it wasn't really because Chicago has more Black people than anybody else. Well, Chicago had more Black people than Newton, Massachusetts, which is where June was, for sure. But anyway, and that's how we began this project. Michelle and I having these kinds of discussions. And I had always felt that Black people needed to get the story. They needed to get it. And I read the book very shortly after it was published. I was horrified. My dead ex-husband, I kept reading passages to him. Well, he wasn't dead ex then. I was
good.
And then he started reading it on the sly, like move my bookmark. And I knew he was reading it, and I had an opportunity, and he just took it as a science fiction novel, some more Octavia Butler stuff.
You're now talking about The Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was so long ago when that
Yeah.
happened. And I was terrified, and I had no one to talk to about it. You know, if I talked to my mother, she would say,
Yeah,
that's why you need to be reading the Bible.
You know, Kim, BJ and I are starting a new program on this Thursday.
Kim
the
doesn't
13th.
know, and I've been doing all this talk. I thought you knew, Kim. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's called If America Fails, The Coming Tyranny. And we're using the Handmaid's Tale story, the book and the Hulu TV show, to talk about things that are happening in current events. And so we have a whole lineup of scholars. It's a 12-week program, goes on through April 7th, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live streaming on YouTube. And we've got some great people signed up. I'm excited personally about Jared Yates Sexton because
he's your man.
That's my man. I love his podcast. A great podcast. And Dr. James McIntosh, a psychiatrist, Dr. Ruth Ben-Ghiat, a professor of who's a professor of Italian history, but recently wrote a book called Strong Men, Mussolini to the Present. Who else do we have? A bunch of people.
David Icard.
David Icard.
The author of Blinded by, I met him when he wrote Breaking the Silence on Black male femininity way back in 2009. We have Reverend Susan Smith. What's the name of her ministry?
Crazy Faith.
Crazy Faith.
Ooh.
We're hoping to get Chauncey DeVega. I did send him a note today. I forgot to CC. I've been busy. Monkey busy.
Good.
So it's a lineup of 12 weeks. And the first episode is this coming Thursday. And we're going to be talking about, what's the title? I should know it. I've written it 1,000 times. Lord, I've typed it 1,000 times.
I know. America Under Siege.
The Color of Autocracy.
Yes.
Even me with my dementia, I remembered the second part.
How is the show aired? Is it something that anyone can sign into, or do you need to sign up?
Yes, it's on YouTube.
Yeah. Are you talking about coming in?
Kim.
Are you talking about
Michelle
being in the
has me
chat room?
on YouTube. It is the most uncomfortable shit I ever did. And I used to do TV, but I'm looking dead at myself, and my daughter told me that I need to practice to stop squirming. She said, you squirm the whole time somebody else.
Are you talking about watching the show, Kim, or being a part of the conversation?
Watching the show and getting the word out to people who, because I went to a program recently where another woman was giving a talk on The Handmaid's Tale.
Who was the woman?
LaJara Cooper. I don't think that she doesn't have a book out or anything like that, but she gave a talk I belong to a group called Lucy's Children, where we just talk about Black issues.
Well, we need to get in touch with her.
I would love to give them the information. And Muriel Tillinghast runs Lucy's Children. So I don't know if you know her she was with CORE.
Michelle, can you get the information to Kim and the website? We have a website.
Okay, and then I will send it out to people because I'm involved with different Black groups and everybody wants links to things. And so it would just be nice to be able to say, check these things out.
Yeah. I will.
Am I hormone deficient because I don't want links to things?
I'll send you some stuff. But it live streams on the TruthWorks Network YouTube channel.
Okay.
Can I change the subject for just a little minute? And I really apologize. I was late. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just Chipotle. I had done all my little web work and I said, oh my goodness, I'm all done. Look at all this time that I have. Karen, I wanted to check in with you. How was your summer?
So
But before you do that, have we said everything we need to say about love songs? The last
Y'all
book
said something about it?
Is
Not
it
really.
possible to ask other people? Is it too late to have other people join the group?
No. Just tell them Wednesdays at 7, starting next week. And so the last book that we did, the Baldwin book, it was really just Gio and BJ and myself, and we did not use facilitators. Everybody agreed to come with like one or two questions and one or two show and tell. We did a lot of show and tell last book. So if you want to share your screen and, share a picture or video or whatever. And it worked out. I thought it worked out pretty well. And since I am so consumed for the next 11 weeks with If America Fails, then I'd like to not be worrying about trying to do an agenda and whatnot. So can we do that?
Thumbs up.
Yes.
It worked for me.
It works for me.
Yeah, kind of a shared facilitation
I like that.
process. Yeah.
Because that's what we really do anyway, even though I do.
So I'm going to turn off the live streaming, turn off the recording, and let's check in with Karen.